The snow fell in thick sheets across the industrial sector of New Terra, coating the rusted metal structures in a deceptive blanket of purity. Anna pulled her thermal coat tighter as she trudged through the accumulation, her breath forming small clouds that dissipated into the frigid air. The temperature gauge on her wrist display read -43 degrees Celsius, well below the safety threshold for unmodified humans. She was making her way home from the plasma refinery where she worked the late shift when she heard it, a sound barely audible above the howling wind, a mewling, weak and desperate. Anna paused, her augmented hearing focusing on the source. There, beneath a collapsed transit shelter, two shapes huddled together. Cats, but not the sleek, genetically optimized companions that roam the upper city habitats. These were old, their fur matted and frost-covered, their bodies trembling violently as hypothermia set in. One was a tabby with clouded eyes, the other a black tom with patches of fur missing from what appeared to be old burns. Anna knew the regulations. Article 47 of the Terran Colony Charter explicitly prohibited harboring unregistered animals, especially those without genetic tracking implants. Every creature on New Terra was supposed to be cataloged, its DNA mapped and stored in the central database. These cats were clearly off-grid, which meant they were illegal. But they were also dying. She made her decision in seconds, scooping both animals into her coat and hurrying the remaining 3 blocks to her housing unit. The smaller one, the tabby, barely moved. The black tom managed a weak protest, his voice a raspy wheeze. Inside her apartment, Anna activated the environmental controls, pushing the temperature up to 25 degrees. She gently laid both cats on her heated sleep platform and ran her medical scanner over them. The readouts made her wince. Advanced malnutrition, severe hypothermia, and what appeared to be radiation exposure. The black tom had burns consistent with proximity to an unshielded fusion core. "What happened to you two?" she whispered, beginning the delicate work of warming them slowly to prevent shock. She administered subcutaneous fluids using her basic medical kit, then offered them protein paste diluted with water. The tabby, she decided to call her Jenny after her grandmother, lapped weakly at the mixture. The black tom, whom she named Charlie in her mind, managed only a few drops before exhaustion claimed him. Anna sat with them through the night, monitoring their vital signs on her scanner, adjusting the warming protocol as their core temperatures gradually climbed toward normal. Outside, the wind continued its assault on the colony, and the city's lights flickered occasionally as the power grid struggled against the storm. She must have dozed off around 400 hours, because the pounding on her door jolted her awake with her heart racing. Her chronometer read 6:47. The cats were sleeping peacefully on her platform, their breathing more regular than it had been hours before. The pounding came again, harder this time, accompanied by a voice amplified by external speakers. "Anna Kozlov, this is Colonial Security. Open your door immediately." Anna's blood turned to ice. She moved to the window, careful not to disturb the sleeping cats, and pulled back the thermal curtain just enough to see outside. Her housing unit was surrounded, not by regular colonial security forces in their standard gray uniforms, but by Imperial Guard, soldiers in black-powered armor with the golden eagle insignia of Emperor Magnus VI emblazoned on their chest plates. At least 20 of them formed a perimeter around her building, their plasma rifles charged and ready. 2 atmospheric assault craft hovered overhead, their spotlights cutting through the morning gloom. This wasn't about 2 unregistered cats. This was something else entirely. Anna's hands trembled as she approached her door panel. Before she could activate it, the door exploded inward with a blast of kinetic force that threw her backward. She hit the far wall hard, her vision swimming. Armored soldiers poured into her small apartment, weapons raised, barking commands in sharp military cadence. "Clear left, clear right, target subjects located." 2 soldiers moved immediately to the sleep platform where Jenny and Charlie lay. One of them produced a portable scanner that emitted a soft blue light as it passed over the cats. The device chirped, and the soldiers' helmet speakers crackled. Positive identification. Both subjects confirmed. Alert the Lord Commander immediately. Anna struggled to her feet, her ribs screaming in protest. What is this? They're just cats, sick animals I found in the snow. A figure entered through the destroyed doorway, different from the soldiers. This one wore the crimson cloak of the imperial court over ornate ceremonial armor. He removed his helmet, revealing a weathered face with sharp, intelligent eyes and a neatly trimmed beard streaked with silver. "Ms. Kozlov," he said, his voice carrying an accent from old Earth, European, perhaps Russian. "I am Lord Commander Petrov of the Imperial Guard. You have committed no crime, but you have become entangled in matters of profound importance to the Empire." "I don't understand," Anna said, still disoriented. "They're just cats." Petrov moved to the sleep platform and gazed down at the two animals with an expression that Anna couldn't quite read, something between reverence and sorrow. "These are not ordinary cats, Ms. Kozlov. Jenny and Charlie, though of course you wouldn't know their names, are neural proxies." "Neural what?" "Proxies, biological vessels containing the consciousness engrams of two individuals." He paused, seeming to choose his words carefully. 5 days ago, there was an explosion at the Imperial Research Station in the Northern Territories. A sabotage attempt targeting Project Chrysalis, our attempt to achieve consciousness transfer technology. 2 of our subjects were caught in the blast. We thought they were destroyed. Anna's mind raced, trying to process what she was hearing. "You're saying these cats have human minds inside them?" "Not human. Not anymore." Petrov knelt beside the platform, and one of his soldiers handed him a more sophisticated scanner. "The transfer technology is still experimental. During the attack, the consciousness engrams of 2 very important people were emergency transferred to the nearest compatible biological vessels, these 2 cats that were part of the station's pest control protocol." He activated the scanner, and a holographic display materialized in the air, showing complex neural patterns and data streams that meant nothing to Anna. "The tabby," Petrov continued softly, "contains the consciousness of Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Anna Margareta. The Black Tom is Prince Dmitri, the Emperor's younger brother." Anna felt the floor drop out from beneath her. "The Empress? That's impossible. The Empress is. She's giving speeches, making public appearances." "Synthetic body doubles powered by limited AI," Petrov interrupted. "Sophisticated enough to fool most observers for short periods, but not indefinitely. The Emperor has been desperate to keep this quiet while we searched for the actual consciousness engrams. If our enemies knew the Empress and the Prince were vulnerable, trapped in animal bodies." He didn't need to finish the sentence. Anna looked at the 2 cats sleeping peacefully on her platform, seeing them with entirely new eyes. The tabby, the Empress, stirred slightly, her clouded eyes opening to regard Anna with an intelligence that suddenly seemed far too human. "Why cats?" Anna asked. "Why not transfer them to human bodies?" "The technology doesn't work that way. Not yet. A consciousness engram can only bond with a living brain during the transfer process. The nearest compatible vessels happen to be these 2 cats." Petrov stood, his expression hardening. "We need to transport them to the Imperial Medical Facility immediately. The neural degradation process has likely already begun. Every hour they remain in these unsuitable vessels decreases our chances of successfully transferring them back to human bodies." "So what happens to me?" Anna asked, already knowing the answer wouldn't be pleasant. "You'll be taken into protective custody, debriefed, monitored." Petrov's tone wasn't unkind, but it was firm. "What you know could destabilize the Empire if it became public. The Emperor will decide your ultimate fate, but I suspect you'll be compensated generously for your inadvertent service to the Crown." 2 soldiers moved to take Anna's arms, but Petrov held up a hand to stop them. He approached her directly, his eyes searching hers. "The medical scans show you saved their lives. The Empress was less than an hour from complete neural shutdown. Your actions, though unknowing, may have preserved the imperial succession. He produced a small crystalline device from his armor, an imperial commendation, its surface etched with the eagle seal. This may mean nothing to you now, but someday, when the truth can be told, you will be remembered as the human lady who saved the empire by showing kindness to two frozen old cats. Anna accepted the commendation numbly as soldiers carefully placed Jenny and Charlie, the Empress and the Prince, into specialized medical containers. The cats were sedated now, their bodies surrounded by a shimmer of stasis fields. As she was escorted from her ruined apartment into the cold morning air, Anna caught one last glimpse of the tabby cat through the transparent container. For just a moment, their eyes met, and Anna could have sworn she saw something there. Gratitude, perhaps, or recognition of a debt that would never be publicly acknowledged. The Imperial guards formed up around her, and the assault craft descended to extract their precious cargo. Within minutes, Anna's quiet life in the industrial sector was over, replaced by something far stranger and more dangerous than she could have ever imagined. All because she had chosen compassion over caution on a frozen night, when two old cats needed help. And somewhere in the imperial palace, an emperor waited anxiously for news of his wife and brother, praying that the consciousness engrams contained within two humble feline vessels could be preserved and restored. The snow continued to fall on New Terra, covering Anna's footprints as the convoy departed, erasing all evidence of the night that changed everything.